Happy Easter, everybody. This is the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins edition of Scuttlepuck, and playoff races are almost set in the NHL, and lots of news, lots of stuff going on this week, and we'll get right into that right after Throwing Muses sings Shark.
This afternoon, your back's not so straight, your eyes aren't too clear. I could kiss you for remembering my birthday. Buy you on a duck, I'm money out of luck. You should thank me for remembering your name. You could be very easy. Spin the shot glass, kiss the batter, shark in your brain.
Happy Easter, and welcome to the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins edition of Scuttlepuck. On the line, we got Dale and Pete. What's going on, fellas?
It's not just Easter, Mike. It's April Fool's Day.
Right. Are you got any?
You ready?
Yeah, I'll do my best. Are you a big April Fool's joker? Like I could see Davin being an April Fool's guy, but I've never really been big on that. Not that I'm against it.
The only thing I did is I just took some the foil off some Easter eggs and wrapped up some grapes. Left them around.
Nice. So is the intro song going to be "Foolin'" from Def Leppard?
No, I hate Def Leppard. Hate Def Leppard.
You hate them.
Oh,
Well, that's a
just
discussion.
the worst
another time,
band
but-
ever.
Oh, stop.
Oh, they're
Not ever.
oh yeah. The
ever.
only thing worse would be like Bon Jovi, maybe.
Okay.
Like
Let's
seriously.
start this off. Yeah.
Oh God, no! It's actually picked up off of Free Music Archives, kind of a off the board pick, but it's Throwing Muses is the band, but the song is Shark. Apropos for the team of the week.
Oh. So yeah, hopefully Scuttlepuckers actually realize that there is actually a little thought that goes into the song selection.
A little method
A
to
little.
madness.
Well, I'm sitting here in a basement in Ottawa having Easter weekend with my family. So happy Easter to all the Scuttlepuckers and to you, Mike and Dale. All the best to your families, and let's get this going.
All right.
All right.
What's a big Easter meal this afternoon, this evening? You got like
It was
big
my
turkey?
daughter's. It was my daughter's 13th birthday on Friday.
Nice. Happy birthday.
And we're up to Ottawa for the weekend, just having some snacks here and there. So we had family in yesterday for, I guess the Easter meal, if you will. So
What was on the table?
What did
was
we
it? Did you have
have?
turkey? Did you have roast beef? What'd you have?
What did I? Yeah, it was roasted beast. Yeah, that's what we had. And a whole pile of wine.
I
So,
was gonna say, are you sure? Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't sound like you remember. How about you, Dale? What's on the Easter table at the Horde household?
We had turkey at Teresa's mom's on Good Friday.
Nice.
Which I'm not sure how that complies with
Actually,
strong
we did the same thing, but not.
strong religious beliefs. But anyway, and we're going to Mom and Dad's today, and it will be ham. I am certain.
Ham. All right. Yeah, we had turkey. We had the Kellys down, so we did a big turkey on Friday night because we missed out on Christmas. My mom's been doing it the last couple of years, so we missed out on all the leftovers, right? So we thought, let's do our own turkey so we can have the leftovers, because that's really the best part of the turkey. But then I'm doing a prime rib today at Mom's for that side of the family. So
do you guys, like your question about Easter, you guys do the hot cross bun stuff? You ever have
no,
that?
although I did see
I've
some
had them, yeah.
pictures on that. I didn't realize that was an Easter thing until I saw something on Twitter. Is that actually a Christmas or an Easter thing because of the crosses?
Oh yeah, hot cross
Yeah.
buns for years and years have been. I've never been one to partake in it. I'm just curious if you guys do.
When I was younger,
guessing
that's what
not.
we used to. When I was younger, we used to all the time at church. You'd have hot cross buns.
There you go. Okay, let's talk hockey, shall we?
Sure.
So just getting right on to, well, let's do some feedback first, because I thought we had some particularly good feedback this week. In particular, thanks to Cameron McClendon, who You talk about having fact checkers, Dale. This
I
guy
know,
was
this was
all over it. He gave detailed assessments of two situations where a goaltender basically in the one case, put the puck in his own net, and it was a goal. That was Mike Smith, I believe. And then Pekka Rinne almost did it in the playoffs last year, where the puck got stuck in equipment. Gave us the YouTube links. He gave a detailed analysis. Oh, just awesome stuff. I love that. Thanks, Cam.
Yes, thank you.
And I always have to give a shout out to Matt Lombardi, whose his emails just crack me up every week. And this particularly good because clearly the league is out to get the Boston Bruins, despite the fact they're in first place now. But we'll get to even more of that a little bit later. But I don't know. I get a kick out of Matt's emails. And just wanted to shout out to Leonard Waters, who's always just such a helpful guy. He sent out he recommended, I was bitching about the podcast app on Apple and how useless it has become, and it really is bad now, but he recommended the Overcast podcast app, and I actually quite like it. But anytime something like that, he sends something out, and he's like the first guy on it to help. Leonard just wants to help people. He's such a good guy. So I wanted to thank him, and he also has the cutest daughter on Twitter, I think, for sure. He's got her right into hockey, and he's always got her in hockey sweaters and stuff, and she's awesome. So thank you, Leonard. And after that, let's jump on to the milestones. Dale, you got some milestones for us?
Yeah, I got a few. Mike Fisher, now that he's back, has got his 1100th game. This one kind of threw me off. R. Nash from Boston played in his 400th game this week.
Riley
Nash. Yes, wow. Not to be confused with Rick Nash. I don't even know. How do they do that on shirts? I haven't even noticed that.
I haven't either, because
I haven't seen an R in front of Rick Nash's that I remember. So, and the R wouldn't help them any. So I don't know what they do.
I want to be interesting if they put the whole name. They're short enough last name. You could do it.
Remember that? Dan and Don Maloney?
Yep. Yeah.
They used to have their full names.
What did the Dwayne and the Sutters, didn't they have Dwayne and Daryl? Did they? No, they didn't play on the same team, I don't think, so it didn't matter, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's
a rat hole.
There's another rat hole, yeah.
Jonas Brodin, I'm not sure if that's correct. Again, my pronunciation, Brodin, maybe. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he got 400 games in, and Yanni Gourde from Tampa Bay got his 100th game in. That guy is he scores a lot. He's like a 20%. Yeah. So, other than that, I didn't really have. I just kind of focused on the.
Didn't Ovi hit 1,000 games this week? I'm sure he did. Didn't he?
He might have.
Oh, come on! How do you miss Ovi?
I can't get them all.
Oh, you got to fire some people. You've got a whole office of people pulling this stuff up. Someone needs to get fired over this. Is Davin your head?
Probably me.
Oh, no, sorry.
Go to the websites.
He's at 999, so he's going to pass it. I think maybe today or tomorrow.
Well, so then why would I have?
No, you're right.
Now you blew it. Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah. I screwed it up.
No suspense.
Yeah, I thought I saw he had 1,000, but obviously the tweet was like he's coming up to 1,000. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, and every time I keep seeing Joe Thornton's getting very close to his 600th goal or something like that, and he just keeps sitting in that. And
he's probably not making much progress.
No. But other than that, and just quickly, did you listen to 31 Thoughts this week?
I did.
Did you hear Marek talk about Wes McCauley coming in the NHL?
Mm-hmm.
Is that not just bizarre?
I know. It's not bizarre to me at all, because clearly they listen to the show. They're getting half their info from Scuttlepuck.
It has to be. Or somehow we listen to the same thing, and how we could have both made that assumption. Wes McCauley was born in 1972. He didn't get to be in the ref 2003. It's not even close.
I'm telling you. They're listening to Scuttlepuck. There is no question about it. I'm just waiting for the call. I'm waiting for them to say, okay, look. They should at least attribute it. Give us a little shout out.
Well, let's just have half of their advertising budget. That's all we want.
Okay, I could go for that. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, that works.
Anyway, I thought that I actually listened to that multiple times because I could not believe that Merrick would have made the same mistake as me.
I'm
Anyway.
telling you. No, they're listening.
Okay.
And let's move on to who's hot and who is not. And in the East, we've got Columbus at 8-1-1, just 1 point ahead of Washington, who are 8-2 in their last 10. So, really not affecting anything playoff wise. Although I guess Columbus could catch. I think they're right up there with our friends Pittsburgh. But
just so you know, I just cracked an iced tea.
what? Is everything okay? You feeling all right?
Yeah. April Fools. It's a Coors Light.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew something was wrong, but again, I'm not always the quickest on the April Fool. I'm kind of surprised, though, that Davin doesn't have, and maybe he does and you just haven't found them yet.
He's not even up yet, so.
Yeah, he's got some little presents for you, though. I'm sure of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in the West,
who's not?
St. Louis is St. Louis, Winnipeg, and San Jose are all 7-2-1. And really, the only important one there, I would say, is St. Louis because they're in the second wild card spot, so they've needed that run to get in. Not hot, emphatically, is the New York Islanders at 2-8-0, and just continue to tank, and that's fueled a lot of speculation about Johnny Tavares. I saw some stuff yesterday. People are just assuming he's not signing with the Islanders.
Yeah.
Are you guys on that or what?
Well, if he is the reason why the team is not playing well, then he's got more influence than I even thought he did. Like, if he's really just got the mood down. But I believe that he wants to stay there and actually see them succeed.
What do you think, Pete? What do you think, Johnny Tavares? Is he going to sign there? Because I just saw tweets yesterday, and people are just saying, "Oh, he's done," right? And it was all speculation about where he's going to go.
Haven't we seen this before with Stamkos and stuff?
Yeah, every year there's a big free agent.
And they tend to stay. So I'm kind of with Dale on this, even though I'd like to see him in a Montreal uniform. It won't. It more than likely he'll stay. And if you're dropping like a stone like them, your chances of possibly getting a good pick are getting better and better by the day or by the game. So, no, I see him sticking around and them getting a good draft pick and possibly just moving up. I mean, they've got Barzal. They've got a good team moving forward. Just flip the switch next year and, instead of falling off the rails at the end of the season, they push through.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that for sure. I think I was just kind of surprised by how just definitive, and this is typical Twitter, I guess, but people are just like, oh, yeah, he's done there. And I'm like, he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who's going to go out and just try and get the top dollar. Montreal is everyone's favorite pick for him to go to because obviously they need a center. But just imagine what they need more than a center. Yeah, but if you get Matthew Barzal, right, who's just an incredible player. You got Tavares, and then let's say they got Rasmus Dahlin. That would completely alter that franchise overnight. I really think they could be a pretty solid team if they did get Dahlin, but we'll see. In the West, not hot. Calgary goes 2-8-0, and just that first round. Let's not forget that the Islanders have Calgary's first overall pick too, so they have 2 first rounders.
That's insane, eh?
They didn't. Oh, lottery protection. Oh, Brad Trelevin's gonna. I think he said last week, Dale. He just must not be sleeping.
You're just
my God. And also Dallas is 2-6-2, another team that looked pretty solid early on and have just absolutely plummeted out of the playoffs. And that's Jim Nill's got to be a little bit worried about his job. I think he's this year he went out and got Radulov, and at the time I remember going you still haven't fixed your D, and I think I wonder if I have to think he might be in the hot seat there. Even Ken Hitchcock. That surprises me with Hitchcock, right? Because you kind of thought, okay, they don't have the best D, but he's going to coach them into good D.
Are we going to see a black, in this case, it'll be a Black Thursday or a Black Monday type thing, as they do in the NFL, where all the GMs and coaches that have not been fired during the year, but they've wanted to, are they all going to get let go at the same time?
Okay, fellas, how many coaches have been fired this year?
0.
In the NHL?
0.
which is
Zero.
crazy, right? And that's
Yeah,
that's what they're talking about on 31 Thoughts. Like, is it Black Friday or whatever the day it is? Just like you said, Pete. But I actually think, I can't believe they've gone this long without firing a coach. So there's got to be guys that are going, oh yeah, you're done. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it wouldn't.
Yeah, but who's the most striking candidate for that?
For coach.
To get fired, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Like, 'cause I don't like, is Blashill in Detroit in trouble? I don't think so. I would be looking more. Is Ken Holland going to come back there? Is Ken?
Waite.
I think Doug Waite. That's a good one. I think Todd McClellan's on the hot seat, and I think it's only 3 games, but if Edmonton doesn't get to 80 points, Bob Nicholson's got to be looking at both Chiarelli and McClellan. I mean, I want him getting Chiarelli gone anyway, but they've got to answer for that, and I don't think they have an answer for getting 74 points with that lineup. So I think there's a real risk. I'd love to see Joel Quenneville get the axe in Chicago because I would love to see Edmonton pick him up. But yeah, Travis Green's not going anywhere in Vancouver. I don't think. I think most of these guys these teams are gonna stay the course. Who's coaching in Buffalo?
Housley.
Phil Housley.
Right. So they're all new there. I don't. They're terrible this year. Will they move from him? I don't. It's tough to know, right?
I don't think so.
How are the players responding to him? He's only had a year, but yeah, I think Doug Waite's a real possibility. And I've heard Vigneault could be in trouble in New York.
Yeah. And with the direction that they're going in New York, going young, they might not want to have him around. So,
which again, that'd be a guy who'll be, if he wants to work, he'll be available for 5 minutes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with that, nothing really in the dopes side of things this week, did they? There were no suspensions, but since we're sorry.
No, but they'll be dealing with one from last night. I don't know if it. I don't know. I don't know if it's really suspendable because they dealt with it on the ice pretty well with the 5 in the game misconduct. But
what was that? I missed it.
It was Antipov. I can't even think of his name. The guy from Buffalo. What's his name? Hartnell plastered. I can't think of the guy's name. He's a defenseman for Buffalo.
Oh my God, you guys are terrible.
I'm not even going to try because I'll mess it up.
Whatever. Anyways, he plastered him behind the boards. It was a boarding.
So Hartnell hit somebody?
Didn't leave.
Yeah.
And he didn't leave his skates. He didn't leave the ice. It was just a straight board. It was bad.
Yeah,
but I think they dealt with it well on the ice. He might get a game.
Oh, Antipin from Nashville? Is that who we're talking about? Or not? No, Hartnell hit Antipin from Buffalo.
Hartnell hit Antipin. Yes.
Okay.
Buffalo. So yeah, he went off on a stretcher.
Just a sec. I'm
So
just pulling it up.
Checking it out.
The big question, I mean, they were kind of showing, and it was interesting. I mean, I know the power of the media and stuff, but they're they're already saying, he was looking at the numbers on his shoulder and he turned at the last minute. Like, it was almost like the media had already started to and let people believe that it was an accident. And that's my opinion, that they did not view that as such a dirty hit.
Yeah, well, I know
it's an interesting one. He does turn,
and O'Peros will let him off easy because that's a big thing for him, right? Well, you can't put yourself in a bad position, and they'll also go, well, he's a rookie, and he put himself in a bad position instead of going.
Well, he turned his head at the last second. There was no. It was right when he hit him.
I didn't. And they gave him 5 in a game in game.
Yeah, they gave him a 5 in a game, which I think is going to be enough for Paros.
Which is just, but
he went off
the
on
only
a
thing
stretcher.
is, they took him
other
off
part.
on a stretcher. That's kind of typically where they go, oh, maybe we should do something because we're going to look bad here if we don't, right? Like that, which is stupid. Oh,
well,
no,
we'll
that's
see
a bad
because
hit.
I mean nobody knows how well he is, right? So from the reports after the game was that he was, quote unquote fine.
He didn't have the
if that
puck.
can
He
be
got rid of the puck. And now I'll say that it's a brutal hit, all that, but that's the case I've been making is that was they do that 20 times a game, and if the guy doesn't get hurt, they don't even call it half the time.
Yeah.
They need to start calling that stuff so these situations don't happen, but they'll never figure that out. And Perros, you're right. I think he'll get a game just because he got stretchered off.
Yeah, I think that's max.
Okay, well, that was interesting. I did want to talk about, it's not really Department of Player Safety, but the whole, did you guys catch the Bruins game with the Jets and the Jets goal that they allowed, the first goal of the game earlier this week? Just absolutely baffling to me how they managed to call that a goal.
Which one? I don't.
Oh,
give me
okay. Sorry.
Was Marchand involved?
No.
Oh,
It was
okay.
Hudobin was playing net, and the Jets shot it. It was tucked in. The ref was on, say, the right side of the ice. The play was on the left side of the net, and the puck dropped basically on the goal line. The goalie scooped it up, and the Jets are saying it was in, and Hudobin was saying no. The ref on right there put his arms in the air, right? So he didn't make a call. He blew the whistle and put his arms in the air. He didn't wave it off. He didn't say it's a goal.
Mm-hmm.
The refs get together, and a linesman from the blue line says it was in. So the call on the ice is it's a goal. And they go upstairs, and it's completely inconclusive. You cannot – to me, it looked like it probably didn't go in because it looked like – but by the angle, you can't tell. The overhead one is completely blocked by the goaltender. So it stands as a goal. And I'm like, how the fuck does a linesman call it? Say, like, if you're going to say it was in, you can't be guessing. You have to say, you know what, I saw it, and I'm pretty damn sure it went in. Right?
Not pretty damn. I'm 100% sure.
Yeah, well, but I mean, there's going to be times where you call it in, and then they go to the replay. They say, no, it didn't go in because the view, the angle, it wasn't quite what you saw. I get that, but this is to me is a guy just guessing. Yeah, I think it went in, and you can't do that.
You should focus on the offsides, maybe.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is a line and nobody. If the ref were on the right side of that, he to me could have called it a goal. Nobody else can say, I'm going to make that call a goal. Then we'll go check the replay to see if it's not in. Otherwise, to me, you say it's no goal, and then we're going to check to see if it went in. It was a mind-boggling. It was, to me, a fiasco, and that's where guys like Matt Lombardi just lose their mind because they're saying it's a conspiracy against the Bruins. But I just thought, like, that was I don't know why the ref would go, oh, you think that went in? Like, that just drives me nuts how someone could come in and say, yes, that was in, because there's no way you could be even close to sure it was that close. Anyway.
And how much trust that referee had in that linesman.
Yeah.
Because ultimately the referee is the one that has to make the call.
Yeah. Now, a lot of Bruins fans were freaking because the ref put his arms in the air, and they thought he was saying that's no goal. So then they were really freaking saying...
Oh, that they overturned it.
Yeah, which wasn't the case. It was, but anyway.
The Boston Bruins are still doing pretty good.
Yes, yeah, they are. They didn't expect that coming into this year, but they're at 1 point ahead of the Lightning, and they have a game in hand. So they're. It looks like Toronto and Tampa. That could be an interesting. The first round with the same uniforms. Two teams.
Yes.
But interesting. Real great Jersey
I got
matchup
confused.
there.
It's in the seventh overtime. I got confused. It looked like my guy.
In all seriousness, though, like, when you're playing, right, you look up and the pants are the exact same color. And you're used to playing in those colors. I wonder if that doesn't happen sometimes where you just...
So you force them to play in their third jerseys.
Which are what?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Do they even have that?
Oh, the Leafs could put on their white pants.
What about their green? Their St. Patrick's Day
Yeah, there you
specials?
go. That would be awesome. Or the Bolts could put on their old black ones, their old thirds or something. I don't know. Anyway, other news: Chara got extended for another year for $5 million, and he's just going to keep playing forever, right?
Right.
Why not?
I know.
Another Chelios.
Yeah, and I think obviously he's a fitness fanatic, but I give him a lot of credit, and I'm not there. I'm just assuming, but that for the way they've developed those young defensemen. Last year it was Brandon Carlo. This year it's Charlie McAvoy. They're putting rookies with Chara, and the guys are just excelling. So I give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. Wish the Leafs had top-notch defenseman they could put Gardner with.
Yeah, it's Morgan Riley.
No, it's not.
You know, I don't know
Move
why.
on.
What do you hate about Morgan Riley? Why
I don't
do you
hate anything
Morgan
about him.
Riley, Dale.
I don't hate anything about him. He just makes mistakes.
Oh,
He doesn't have that, and he just doesn't have that.
you're one of
air
those guys, right? You just focus on the little mistake they make every now and then and say he's a crap BD instead of seeing all the good stuff he does.
Maybe. Was he what?
Did you hear?
Yeah, I know you were talking last week. You stouted some stuff about him, his playing against higher competition and all that jazz. But when I watch a game, he doesn't stand out. He doesn't. He's okay. He's an NHL defenseman, but he's not anything. Yeah.
Oh, I disagree. Didn't you hear Dale Talon this week on 31 Thoughts? I loved that interview, by the way. He was a great interview. But he was talking. I was just like, "Amen." He's going. I like players that take risks, that make plays, that try and do. And that's Morgan Riley. He was exactly describing Morgan Riley. I was like, "Amen, Dale. That's what we need. We need more guys like him in this league, and fewer guys like Peter Chiarelli."
You guys are brutal on your teams. You know, I show a lot of love to the Habs. What's the matter with
what
you?
do you?
I just can't believe.
We haven't heard Angry Pete for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I couldn't believe all the
Because they're
goalie.
doing exactly what I want them to do.
I couldn't believe all the goalie interference calls that weren't made last night in the Leaf game.
Oh, really? I wasn't.
They were standing right in front of him, and Anderson, he couldn't see. Like it interfered with his ability to see the puck.
Oh yeah, that's just egregious. It must
I
be a
know.
new standard with the now that they've got ex-officials in the war room calling that. Is that going to make it better?
All that is the old deferring the blame or the responsibility or whatever. It's not going to make it better, but it does solve the one issue of on ice officials being inconsistent.
Yeah,
Now it's just gonna be, and these are target. Can you imagine? The alumni, the old referee alumni. Fuck, this is great, fellas. Let's get together and have a couple pops on Saturday. We'll go out and
now
I got to coordinate around this. I'll take this game. You take that game.
Yeah, and I wonder how much they held out for. Oh, you guys got a real big PR problem, and you really need us. Yeah, we'll help you out. I think they should have been going, I want $10 billion and a case of beer every night I'm there.
Yeah. I don't. It was a step, I think, but it really doesn't solve the problem. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Good for them.
They gotta. I think my assumption was going in the off season they'll have a look at it, maybe clarify it. But the stuff I'm hearing from them is like they think this is the fix. Like they're not going to look to clarify the rule or do anything that way in the off season. I don't think, and it wouldn't surprise me if they don't because they're morons. But anyway, probably the highlight of the week, I have to say, was Scott Foster, accountant by day, NHL goaltender by night.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Gets into the Blackhawks game versus Winnipeg, and what a great story.
Mm-hmm. So, this was actually kind of where I was going to go for the rat hole. But anyway, why don't you get on the AHL emergency backup for the Belleville Senators? You'd be perfect.
Because I would be closing my eyes and just hoping it didn't hit me.
What do you think he did?
Yeah, he's played a little higher hockey than I have. He played like for Western Michigan, the NCAA, and he's like 11 years younger than me.
Do you know when he last played in Michigan?
Like 2005 or something.
Yeah. Now I don't have the number in front of me. Yeah, like 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago.
Oh, I know. It's crazy, eh?
You played Wednesday night hockey. You're still sharp.
Yeah, I never played high-level hockey to start, so my foundation is nowhere near. Although, hey, don't get me wrong, I could do it. I did a bit of
This
that.
just
for
in. Mike, where's foundation?
What's yeah?
What?
Shut up, Pete. Jesus Christ. Oh my God! But I did a bit of that for the McFarlands when they came back the senior. I was probably about 36, and they were desperate because Troy Nelson got hurt and Adam Taylor they needed a backup. So Randy Ewens brought me out to they basically rented the ice to see if I could cut it and had a guy fire a bunch of pucks at me. And I said, yeah, I'll help you out. So I backed up a couple of games for the McFarlands in senior hockey, which was actually, it was pretty cool, right? Because it's kind of like they're like, the scene in the dressing room is just like you were in minor hockey, right? You're getting all pumped up and they're all, so that was fun. I got in for about the last 5 minutes of a game. Where was it? I forget. And I think Troy Nelson just faked the injury so they could put me in. It was the exact same kind of thing. So that was my 5 minutes of fame. It was fun. But yeah, 2005-06, he played for the Western Michigan University, and yeah, he's a good Sarnia boy. Played for the Petrolia Jets in the WJBHL, whatever that is. I thought the best of it was, I mean, obviously that was just awesome, right? And the team gets first star, and the team all jump, and then I saw a picture online though where all his buddies that he plays beer league, his team was playing, and they were all in the lobby watching the game on TV in their uniforms, in their hockey gear. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. But I thought it was because I did a little look into it because I was going to use this as the rat hole this week. But the most amazing part is he had a jersey with his name. After the game, he's got his name on the stall.
Oh, nice.
So either those equipment guys are like super duper fast, or they've got this all kind of choreographed. Because every NHL team has to have, it's the rules now, right? They have to have emergency goalies in the rink, right?
Yeah.
To be available for either team.
Yeah, exactly.
So the question is, if he goes in for the Winnipeg Jets, he doesn't have a shirt with his name on it. He doesn't have a stall with his name on it, right? So, I wonder how that whole thing works.
Do they have name bars for them? I can see that if you're they probably have 10 guys for the season in Chicago, and they probably have a name bar made for each of them that they could put on if they needed. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe they get.
10. He says he does 30 games, so I mean,
I'm
guessing
really?
They have
So even less of a big deal to give them a. Maybe as doing it, you get a jersey with your name on it, and if you get into a game, great. But if not, you get to keep the jersey anyway.
That's how you get paid, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, because they're not allowed to pay them, I guess.
That's right.
That there's a standard contract, and it's basically you get no money. It specifically says.
Because Chicago can't be paying him if he has to go in and play for the Winnipeg Jets, right?
Yeah, I suppose, right?
True.
And that's why, and every other, even all their whole system of goalies is all their property, right? So they can't ever put them in a situation where they're going to go and try to play for the opposition. So they have to have these people that have no affiliation to any team.
But why couldn't the league pay them? I would think it's something the league came up with, and it wasn't in the CBA, so I assume they just put something in there. But why the league could pay them each time they're there? I guess they get dinner. That's what they get.
Okay. And a good seat.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a great story. What's that?
That's a great story. That'd be the unbelievable gig, right? If you're a hockey fan like him.
Oh yeah.
To go to watch 30 games, get dinner, hang out, just every once in a while, just get to walk down to the dressing room. I'm voting you for the AHL for the Belleville. Okay, man. Goalie backup, emergency relief guy.
I think they could do better, but hey, I'm all for it. A guy like Eric Tabaya would be perfect. He plays with us Monday nights. He played for the Bulls, and he is still a really good goaltender.
Don't give your job away.
Yeah, or
he can't be there every night. Right, that's the other thing. It doesn't matter. I don't think Scott Foster's probably the best guy that they had. He was just his night.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, how do you know he's not the best guy? Well, who are you to judge? He did a hell of a job.
He hasn't played competitive hockey since 2005.
Yeah, I know. That's awesome. Yeah, seriously, you're surprised there's not a university guy or something, but they just he knows somebody in the Blackhawks organization. Said, look, we need somebody. Hey, look, you get free games. Why don't you do it? Okay.
Pretty much, eh?
Yeah. Awesome story. Awesome. Okay. And just in the news, a couple other things. Did you see Crosby within a week has 2 pretty remarkable batted in goals? Did you see those?
I did see those because they were everywhere.
Yes.
And
I sent you links in the preview, so I'm hoping you did.
You
your
don't have to tell
work.
Scott Parker's that. Like you can just.
No, I do.
Anyway, yeah. He is, and he's done a few of those before, and they are something. There is no doubt about it. Why, if it's not that hard or whatever, why has nobody else done it? Right?
As much as him, right? He does it more than anybody. I mean, everyone, you or I could even bat him in out every now and then, but to do it at that speed as frequently as he does, he's he's pretty special. The best was the one against Montreal where he batted it up and then hit it in. Like he hit it twice.
Yeah, and the thing that was good about that is it went off Petrie's stick first.
Yeah.
So it was deflected. He hit it and then he batted it in. So it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, his reflexes are stellar.
Were they better goals than Carlson's last night?
Between the Laggers?
Or from the Vegas.
That's a cool one, but I mean, guys have been doing that one forever now. It's almost like, yeah, it's cool, but
exactly.
I just expect that one now.
Yeah, I'd say Crosby's are better than that.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so because he really couldn't. He had to do it just spontaneously.
Yeah, and probably
anytime
tougher to do. Yeah. Well, so that Carlson, speaking of him, where is he at right now? Like his shooting percentage is 23.3. That is remarkable. 42 goals.
Because I looked at that when I looked at that Yanni Gourde guy, and he was at 19.9 or 19.8 or something like that, and I was wondering if that wasn't the top, and then Carlson I knew was higher than that.
It's crazy.
It is, yeah. So why doesn't he shoot more?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. Maybe you should ask him. But he's he's been in the league this is his 6th year, and previous best, what was his best shooting percentage? He was actually 20% in that was on 3 games, so that doesn't count. He's like a 10% career shooter. And he's now at 23.
Yeah,
7.7. It's crazy.
And I know this stat means nothing, but he's also leading the league in plus minus at plus 46.
Is he really? Wow.
9 ahead of second place.
Nuts. I know it's a garbage stat, but it still means something. It's kind of like the goal for percentage. If you're on ice that much more than everyone else, that's saying something.
I want to get away from the leaderboard because I know what's coming next.
What's coming next here?
There's a guy in Edmonton by the name of Connor McDavid, and he's now 6 points ahead.
Yeah,
and you're going to say, Dale, are you changing your prediction from last week? And I'm going to, yes, I am.
Because Colorado's out. McKinnon's at 1.33. Although after last night, McDavid didn't get any points last night, surprisingly. He's still, I think, 6 points up on Kucherov. Looks like he's going to win it.
It would have looked like he has got a better than a 50-50 chance. So he is going to win it, and that's good.
Yes, that's good.
So who is going to win the Hart then? Like I've given up on, because the writers won't give it to him because he didn't make the playoffs, because enough of them are buying into Wyshynski's theory that you can't win it if you're not in the playoffs. But if McKinnon doesn't get it, who gets it?
And who was it that was saying that McDavid, like, there's no chance? Who was that? There was one announcer saying they can't believe that Connor McDavid is even considered for the
Greg
Hart.
Wyshynski's been the most vocal against it. Yeah.
It was on a podcast. Anyway, who is going to win it?
Like, is it Taylor
Drew.
Hall? If Drew? Yeah, like, because if you get past those two, it's really, I think it's a like, it's funny because Malkin can't win it because his team's too good. Right, everyone will say, "Well, he's got Crosby, all these guys are going," and then McDavid can't win it because his team's not good enough. It's bullshit. Yeah. It's just silly, right? Just give it to McDavid and be done with it. So before we jump to the playoff races and the World Championships, looks like Team Canada's trying to put their team together. I'm really hoping McDavid goes. Nugent-Hopkins has said he will go. Carey Price said no, Peter. What the hell's his problem? Does he hate Canada or what?
I think it's just been a bad year for him. I think, bad year. Still dealing with some probably injuries and stuff. I think he's done enough for a while. I think just shut it down.
Come
and be
on,
done with it.
Kerry.
He's the best goalie in the world, apparently.
And he
is.
could come. Hey,
And
what a
he
way to
is.
finish the year! Get a gold medal in the World Championships. Leave on a high note, so going into next year, he's got his confidence back.
Yeah. No, shut it all down. Shut it all
Party
down.
pooper.
Same thing with. Well, it's the same thing with Gallagher too. I mean, the guy's gone through a wall for a team that's pretty much bottom 4 in the league, and it's enough.
Bunch
I'm
of
good with it.
wussies there in Montreal. No
Yeah.
wonder they suck.
Wonder
That's
what you
right.
expect. Yeah, I wonder what you expect from professional hockey players.
You're not going to get any love from me today on this. No biting. It's even though it's like Easter Fools or whatever day it is, it is whatever.
Easter Fool.
You're
It's
not-
going to be it's going to be Team Canada,
Or
Edmonton
Foolish
Oilers,
Easter.
basically, because hopefully McDavid goes. Talbot, I think, will probably go. Darnell Nurse will go. They could have a.
Well, McKinnon will go.
Yeah, that's true too. If he doesn't make it, he'd go for sure. I actually
just
like
said
the
they're
World
not gonna make it.
Championships.
You mean you said if he doesn't make it, McKinnon? You just said they're out of the playoffs.
They are right now, but they could still make it.
Oh, I thought you were already ruling them out, that there wasn't even possible.
No. So
okay.
I said so. Like the playoff races are right now. Like the do we agree the East is set? Florida's 5 points
Yeah.
back with 4 games
Yep.
to go. I don't think they're gonna catch New Jersey or Philly. You agree,
No,
Dale?
that's pretty much a wrap.
Yeah, let's just call that the way it is.
Okay, so we booked it, and then West. In the West, you got 4 teams looking for that. Basically for 3 spots. You got LA at 94, you got Anaheim at 93, St. Louis at 92, and Colorado at 92. So Colorado's out because of the wins. That's going to be interesting. That could go any way, right?
Yeah, I don't think Colorado will get in. Just because all those teams are pushing, or all of them are pushing hard. I think they have the hardest road to go, but we'll see.
I want to see Anaheim fall out. Sorry, Kimmy, there in Anaheim, but I so badly want Anaheim to fall out of the playoffs. Hate Anaheim. Stupid Ryan Kessler and his stupid goalie interference. All right.
Really?
No, I don't hold a grudge.
All right.
Shall we move
So
on
we-
to the team of the week, gentlemen?
Certainly.
Sure.
Yeah, right. We got the San Jose Sharks. I thought they'd be interesting. They're securely in second spot in the Pacific, behind Vegas. I just still can't believe we're saying that. But yeah, an interesting thing because they've been very quiet all year. Really haven't talked much about San Jose, and looking at it probably for good reason because they're not exactly. They're just kind of a middle of the pack, a little bit better middle of the pack team. Did you guys any thoughts on San Jose? Obviously, Thornton out this year. Pavelski's been leading the charge in scoring.
Yeah, they lost last night to Vegas, which was could have been their chance to really show that they were better than them, and they didn't. But I don't know. I don't really see much about them, and that's the one big fault of living in the Eastern time zone. You really don't get to see them much.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
Picking up Vander Kane, I think it was a big boon for them. He's shown that he's doing okay, and he scored 4 goals there the other night. I think he's fit in very well with the team. I think that's a good sign going into the playoffs. It's one of these teams that has been laying low and can spark in the playoffs. So they're definitely a team to watch because nobody. I don't think anybody's going to take them lightly, but I also don't think anybody's really looking at them either. So it's one of those teams that could all of a sudden, hey, wait a minute, they're in the conference final. Hey, they're the team in the Stanley Cup final. What's going on? What's going on with them? Blah blah blah. Nobody's looking at them.
Yeah, they are kind of hiding there, right? They're second, although they're second in their division. They're 4th in the West and 8th in the NHL overall. So they're not they're in the top half, I guess, of those making the playoffs. But I'm impressed. They got a plus 26 goal differential, which was interesting too because if you look at 5-on-5 stats, they're actually a -2 in goal differential. So So I got looking at that, and I'm going, well, they must have a great power play. No, power play is 16th in the league, 20%. So they're like everything's just kind of right in the middle. Save percentage for the season is 12th in the league, 91%. Shooting percentage, 16th in the league at 9%. And the only thing that stood out to me about the team is that their penalty kill is second in the league at 85%. And when you balance out their special teams, they're plus 18. Between your power play and your PK. So that's really been the biggest thing that stood out. Other than that, they're really their top scorer is 63 points. So they're not anywhere near the top of the league. They got 3 guys with 20 goals. So yeah, that's good. Couture's up. I got 32, I think. So I think they're a good team, but not a great team unless they get just crazy good goaltending in the playoffs or someone gets on a run. I don't see them doing much. I could see them getting through the first round though, because they're going to play the third place team in the division. So they'll probably win the first round, but I think they'll go out after that.
So which goalie is going to get on a run, Dell or the other guy,
Martin Jones?
Dell or Jones? Yeah,
I think Jones is their guy. Mm-hmm. He's played 57 games, so he'll be relatively fresh unless he's been hurt or something. So Martin Jones will be their guy for sure. I think part of their being as high as they are too, though, is that the Pacific's been incredibly weak this year. You got Edmonton, you got Calgary, you got Arizona, Vancouver, all in that division. And Edmonton should have been stronger, but they haven't been. Same with Calgary, should have been stronger, they haven't been. So I think they look possibly better than they really are. So I think San Jose could win one round, but won't go farther than that in the playoffs.
Did you mention, Dale, that Jonas or whatever, Donskoy skated in his 200th game last night?
No.
What were you doing, Dale? How did you miss Donskoy?
Yeah, it's amazing. My deepest and sincerest apologies to him and his family.
Well, I'm sure he's listening, so he'll appreciate that apology. Mm-hmm. Maybe American Friedman will let him know when they listen to us. If they quote anything about Yanni Gourde, then I'm going to know that they were listening for sure.
Exactly. Everyone's favorite squash.
Jeez. And on Easter too, Pete. Anyway, Dale, you got a rat hole to talk about?
No. I did. We were going to talk about Foster.
Well, we just talked about him. We didn't go down any rat holes.
Okay, we can go down. We'll go down one that's kind of. Yes, let's go.
Okay, so let's go
down the rat hole.
Gotcha.
Okay, so this one came about from the rule book, right? So I got last week thinking, here I am. Watched hockey my entire life, played hockey my entire life, and I've never really read the rule book. And so what would be in the rule book that would be kind of interesting? And and there's a few things that stick out. The one thing was, do you know what the definition for too many men on the ice is?
You have more than 6 players on the ice.
There's that part but do you know what they actually cite the distance from the boards the player must be?
It's like 3 feet or something, isn't it?
It's 5 feet.
5 feet, okay.
But I've never actually heard that it's defined as a certain distance. So, So the question is why? And I've actually thought of this many times. Why is that line? Why is there not a 5-foot line on the ice from the player's bench?
Amen, brother.
If they put that there, in the official NHL rule book, it shows the definitions of the rink and all the different parameters, and it defines the crease because there's 3 creases on the ice. Do you know that?
There's the referees and then the 2 goalies.
The 2 goalie crease and the referee's crease, and it defines how that semicircle, how big it's supposed to be from the timekeeper's box and all that. And I can't believe that they would go to the trouble to define that line, which is used never, versus a too many men on the ice call that they have to make probably or think about every game.
Oh, many times. Yeah. And they cheat on it like crazy to get an advantage too, because they'll use the length of the bench, right?
Oh, for sure. Like it's it's probably the one rule that gets abused the most. So,
but that was one thing they did actually in one of Brendan Shanahan's R&D camps. They put that line on the ice for the line changes, but for some reason they didn't implement it. I agree with you. Like I think they should do that because it'll be less cheating.
Yeah. So, so the other in the rule book, is there anything they go into such detail? One other thing is the penalties. Do you know how the penalties are described as?
What do you mean?
Like there's minor
different
penalties
types, right?
Right, but the way that they're described, I'm trying to get back here to the rule book. Like,
yeah,
but like there's stick infractions and all that, as opposed to nobody ever calls that, oh, that's a stick infraction. No, they call it what it is, but they're grouped by different ways. I feel stupid now because I can't find it. But any other thing is, here's a rule, and I'm going to read this out because I was kind of puzzled.
I can't believe you're puzzled by this. I can't believe you never looked at the rule book before.
Oh, no, I have. Oh shit! I've lost it here. I've lost the rule book up on my computer. Ooh. So now I'm flying blind.
In the
Google dark. NHL rule book, and it'll pull up the NHL rule book in PDF form, and you can find whatever you need.
But then I'm scrolling through and not finding the parts that I highlighted.
Oh, you actually.
Yeah,
you actually prepped for the show. Wow.
I did some work.
But you didn't save it, or
shocking.
And the one rule is in overtime, if you pull your goalie, and get scored on, you forfeit your overtime point.
What?
Yeah. It's bizarre. I had to read it. And maybe I read it wrong, but that's what's there. That's what I'm trying to.
I did. So when they brought in like the 3-on-3 overtime.
Yep.
If you pull, you can pull the goalie to go for the second point.
Yep.
But you won't get a point for losing. So that could be the only like 2-point overtime game ever.
Mm-hmm.
So would there be a situation where you would want to take that risk?
Why would you do that?
No. Because you don't get an extra point for scoring. Like, you know what I mean? You don't get 3 points if you get the goal. So there's no incentive. But they just don't want, they want to.
I think what they're saying is that you can't favor.
They wanted teams to leave their goalie in because they knew it'd be a gong show, right? Which it's just funny. Oh, you got a creative idea. We're going to stop that.
Yeah, we've got a rule specifically in there about that, where there's a million things that they don't talk about.
You know who was great for stuff like those reading
Roger
the rule
Nielsen.
book? Yes,
Roger.
absolutely.
He once had to play as an out player go in as the goalie on a penalty shot.
Yeah, he just came out and skated at him.
He just charged at the guy, and the guy had to make a play at the blue line, and of course he shot and missed the net.
Yeah, I know. And he also, when he would pull the goalie, would have the goalie leave his stick in the crease.
Yeah. Until
they made a rule that you couldn't do that. There was all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, he was unbelievable with that.
And what did he there was one too. When he was down 5-on-3, like in the last certain point in a game, you couldn't get, and you just wanted to kill the clock. He would, as soon as the play would start, he would send another guy on the ice. Like he'd wait like 4 or 5 seconds, send another guy on ice, and get another too many men penalty, so the team could never get set up.
Yeah, he would just take another penalty, and they just keep putting guys in the box. There's another rule in
which is awesome. I love that.
What's the rules as far as the penalty box, the size of the penalty box?
Oh, I have no idea.
It must be able to accommodate 5 players and the official.
And it must be protected from the spectator area by means of a glass partition, which should not be less than 5 feet above the height of the boards.
Did you just cite that from memory?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So how come? Okay, so find that one about the penalty, about pulling the goalie in overtime.
Give me a second. You got anything else in your red hole here?
Yeah, this is riveting podcast.
Oh, people are learning.
Okay, Pete, say something.
Say something, Pete. Say something.
Say something. You're a talker. You're a professional talker.
No, I'm a professional reader.
Don't you have something to read?
Okay. Grab a book.
Oh, man.
Whoa, wait a minute. I could read the rule book. No.
Yeah.
The rule book's long, eh? Wow.
It is
But
very
it's
long.
but the rules aren't very long. It's all the stupid. I highlighted all the stuff.
But this is why you have that dope. This is why you have problems with the dopes, because the rule book is so long, and the interpretation of all of these different things, some of them will collide with each other. And
right. But they show all the referee signals for penalties and stuff. Anyway, rule 84.2, overtime, regular season, extra attacker. A team shall be allowed to pull its goalie in favor of an additional skater in the overtime period. However, should that team lose the game during the time in which the goalkeeper has been removed, it would forfeit the automatic point gained in the tie at the end of regulation play, except if the goalkeeper has been removed at the call of a delayed penalty against the other team. Now, who knew that was in there?
Yeah, I didn't know. It's just, and you could just see them going, "Oh, this will be a gong show. Teams will pull the goalie and blah blah blah." And go for just silly.
Anyway.
Actually, that reminds me of the conversation we had over a couple of beers the other night, Dale. And I want to get your take on this, Pete, okay? So I'm not going to say who was in favor of what. So you're up. You're down 1 goal. Is it 1 goal or 2, Dale?
1.
1 goal. You got 2 minutes left to go. You got a 5-on-3 advantage. Okay, so you're down a goal. You got a 5-on-3 in the last 2 minutes. Do you pull your goalie to go 6-on-3?
The gerbils. I can see the gerbil moving right now. Come on, Pete. It's yes, no, and then justify.
Well, yeah, I wish that was the case. Sure, I'd do it, but you're
riding the
if you go
fence.
6-on-3, what are the possibilities that one of those 3 guys can ice the game?
Pete, you're brilliant. How'd you see that so fast?
So what would you do? You've
well, I
outlined...
would do it. Yes, I mean, I think the advantage by doubling up, you can keep the puck away from the 3 guys if you're talented enough, and hopefully you are. But on the off chance, I mean, I think that the chances are pretty darn good that they can ice the game. I don't know. I would do it. I'd throw it just because of who I am. I'm that type of guy. I would.
Well, you just give the reasons why you wouldn't do it.
I would do it, but here's why you wouldn't.
That kind of guy.
So it's a real life situation happened in my son's hockey game. They had a 5-on-3 with roughly 2 minutes left, and they pulled a goalie for 6-on-3, and the defending team that had the 3 players literally whacked the puck and took a crack at the empty net, and they scored, which inevitably sealed the game. And my argument is that the advantage of a 6-on-3 versus a 5-on-3 was not a significant advantage, because you really should be able to keep the puck away from 3 guys with 5 guys, and you would eliminate the possibility of the defending team just getting lucky and firing it and ending the game like that. So
yeah, I was on the other side. I said absolutely pull a goalie, 100%. You got to take the chance, and you got 6-on-3. You have moved the needle more in your favor, and you got to take a chance. I mean, it's just, I think should have a much better, still have a better chance than even a 5-on-3. So I think the coach did the right thing. It didn't work out.
You're always in favor of pulling the goalie. Always.
Yeah.
You're a goalie puller.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, I don't know if everyone knows that one, but yeah.
So anyway, that's a good one. I'm glad to see that Pete thought that through and couldn't decide.
I think though, I like going down the rules rat holes every now and then. So there's probably, because there are some obscure things in there. And what was it last night? Actually, it was in the Jets Leafs game, and Hainsey held the Jets guy. The goalie was out, and the Jets guy was going to beat Hainsey to a puck. It was almost a breakaway, and Hainsey grabbed him and just basically tackled him so he couldn't get the puck. And it should have been an automatic goal, because if you've got a breakaway with the goalie pulled and you do something like that, it's just automatic goal. But they didn't give it to him; they gave him the penalty. But there's lots of little rules like that, which I think are fun.
Right. So stick measurement prior to a shootout attempt is requested before the referee blows his whistle. If the stick is legal, the complaining club forfeits their next shootout attempt.
Wow.
In addition, the complaining club's coach shall be fined $1,000 and the club shall be fined $5,000. Their next shootout attempt would be recorded as no goal. That's if it's legal, right? If the stick is illegal, the offending team forfeits that shootout attempt by that player, and the player becomes ineligible to participate in the shootout. In addition, player is fined $1,000 and his club is fined $5,000.
So,
this shootout attempt would be recorded as no goal.
So you what?
I've never seen that done.
No, me either. And you wonder how many of them have shootout sticks.
Right, because the monetary value is not going to deter somebody from risking it. Ooh, I better not take this because it could cost us $5,000.
I know, but the NHL is funny. They just hate controversial calls, right? So they put there's more disincentive to even try it. You know, they say, we're really going to hit you. If you try this and it's not an illegal stick, you are going to pay the price. You know, it's stiffer penalty there than if you actually cheat.
Yeah, no, I know.
We are going to penalize you more
interesting
if you're going to try and call someone who's cheating and they aren't than if you actually cheat. Like the NHL is so fucked up.
But I wonder if people do have shootout sticks.
Oh, I bet you they do. For sure. And they have like, I don't know if, because they never call sticks stuff anymore, but they used to have, like, guys would have third period sticks, right? Because no one would ever call it in the first couple of periods. Yeah.
Anyway, there is a lot to go down this rat hole, but
yeah, that's a good one though, to find some rules that you can kind of go down and see the history and just to learn like the whole, like Roger Nielsen was just I loved that stuff.
Yeah. And I like the part that the monetary fines are still in there for different violations, and they must be from the 1950 rule book because
$50,
$500, $100, like it's silly.
Very silly. Anyway, before we go, I think that kind of does the agenda. But I did want to say, I don't know if I had this, a couple of housekeeping things or. What was it? Oh yeah, we're going to opening night of the playoffs. We want to. We're going to do a live recording from the Rhino, the pond at Rhino, I guess it's called, but in Belleville here, they've got a great bar up above the rink, and Randy's given us the okay to take over the bar and have some beers and wings and do a special edition opening night of the playoffs on April 11th. So I'm looking forward to that. If any listeners are in the Belleville-Quinte region want to join us, by all means, please do.
You'll be beer and wings.
Absolutely.
And
they,
not for free. Not for free.
No, they have good wings, though, I have to say. But I would say, I don't know, did you guys see that friend of the show, Anya Battolino, officially came out this, I guess it was within the last week or two. I just saw she put out an article, and I think it was through the Players Tribune, just basically saying, which I thought it's a pretty moving article, actually, and good for her. I think I hope everything goes well. It seemed to be nothing but positive feedback for her, and I think that's great.
It's 2018.
Yeah. Agreed. That stuff shouldn't be an issue anymore. I think it takes a lot of courage still for people to come out because people are still stuck in their ways. But big congratulations to her. It's awesome.
Yeah, and if you read the article, like her mom's reaction shows you why it's still so hard to do, right? Like, and I remember when first time she was on the show, her talking about what a huge influence her mom was on her and how strong she was and how much like she just looked up to her mother. And when she told her mom, it was like they didn't talk for quite a while. Everything was really difficult for a long time, and that's why it's so hard for people. And so it sounds like they've mended things, and I'm glad for her that that's happened, and I hope to have her on again soon because she's just a remarkable woman, and just congratulations on you.
Yes.
All right.
Well, I guess I'll let you guys get on with your Easter. I gotta get my prime rib out and ready to go for tonight's big cook, and have a happy Easter, everybody. Anything else you guys want to say before we go?
No, but I'm at a family thing, so I gotta get my nephews, make sure they're listening. So Brock, Braden, I'm after you today.
Good stuff.
Happy Easter, everybody, from
Okay.
from the Wood Duck family. Happy Easter to you all.
Right.
And for me, that was awkward. Talk to you later, everybody.
Take care.
Ciao.
And that ends the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins edition of Scuttle Puck. Thank you very much for listening. And if you have thoughts on a new rat hole for Dale or anything you heard on the show today, you can email us, scuttlepuck@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter at 13mike31. Dale is at Dale Horde. And Peter is at Pete'sVO. Check us out, and we love the feedback. And actually, I put lots of links to different videos from stuff we talked about today at the website, and that's at www.scuttlepuck.com. Check that out, and there's links there to other great podcasts and hockey resources. So check that out too. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week.
We should thank me for offering my mattress. You could be very easy. Spin the chocolates. It's the battle. Shark in your plane. Spin the chocolates. Feel the battle. Shark in your plane. 'Cause she's wild. 'Cause she's wild. 'Cause she's wild. Spin chocolates. Shoot the battle. I find dangers of a trains. I am wild. I am wild. I am wild. Thank you.